Okay, today we're going to talk about constant rate of change. And a rate of change is basically a rate that describes how one quantity changes in relation to another quantity. And proportional relationship is a relationship between quantities in which the ratio of one quantity to the other quantity is constant. For example, a proportional relationship would be y equals 3x. So that is a proportional. So it's constantly multiplying by 3. Proportion is an equation that states that two ratios are equal or congruent. And constant of proportionality, k, is a constant ratio of two variables related proportionally. So for example, in this one right here, the 3 would be the k. So the constant of proportionality is that you are doing 3 times 1, you're doing 3 times 2, 3 times 3, and so on. So that's the constant of proportionality. All right, in 1 hour of babysitting, Rajiv makes $8. He makes $16 in 2 hours, $24 in 3 hours. The K is the Y divided by X. Let me just move this up real quick. So if we're looking at Y divided by X, we will call this X, and we'll call this Y. So 8 divided by 1 is 8. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 24 divided by 3 is 8. The constant of proportionality is Y equals 8x. The K is 8. Okay? All right. Okay, so flip it to the, back real quick. And something in 6th grade that you talked about is that this is a multiplicative relationship. All right, flip it to the back side now. Okay, so now we're looking at this table, and the table says a giant tortoise. I'm going to move this, sorry. A giant tortoise moves at a slow but steady pace. It takes the giant tortoise 3 seconds to travel 10.5 inches. Okay, so we want to finish and complete the table. Well, what we're having to do to go from here to here, we would have to do 10.5 divided by 3. If this, we called this x and we called this y. To find k, you have to do y divided by x. So if we did 10.5 divided by 3, and that's what they want you to write here is 10.5 divided by 3. Well, 3 can go into here 3 times, and 3 can go into 15 5 times. So the constant of proportionality is 3.5. So basically, when we write this equation, we say y equals 3.5x. This is still a multiplicative relationship. So one way of looking at this is you can say 1 times 3.5 is 3.5. Or 3.5 divided by 1 is 3.5. To get 2, you multiply by 3.5. So 3.5 times 2. We have 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. 1d plus 0d is 1d. So we have 7. Or 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Okay, then we can do the same thing here. 4 times 3.5. 3.5 times 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 1D plus 0D is 1D. So we're going to get 14. 14 divided by 4 is 3.5. And then lastly, 5 times 3.5. So we have 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. 1D plus 0D is 1D. So, or the relationship y divided by x, 17.5 divided by 5 is 3.5. Okay, so one more time, what's the equation? Y equals 3.5x. What is the constant of proportionality, k? It is 3.5. Okay, let's go down to example 1 and 2. On example 1, it says the data in the table below shows proportional relationships. Complete the table, find the constant of proportionality. Okay, so if we look at this, the easiest thing to do is say, what does it take to go from 75 to 6? So when we do that, we say 75 divided by 6. Okay, I said that wrong. So one more time. To find constant of proportionality, you have to do k is y divided by x. So we can take any of these and we can say 3 divided by 37 and a half. So if we do that, we have to go over once, go over once. Well, 375 can't go into 300. And we're going to have to go into 3,000. It can go in there 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 7 is 56. Plus 4 is 60. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 6 will get me 30. The constant of proportionality is k equals 0.08. And if we were writing an equation, it would be y equals 0.08x. All right, so if we look at 6, 6 divided by 75, we would just want to make sure that that was the same thing. So we would say that 75 couldn't go into 60, but it should go in there 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 4 is 60. And then lastly, if we did 9 divided by 112.5, well, we can't go into there, so 112.5 can't go into 90, so we would have to add a decimal 0. It can't go into 900, but it can go into 9,000 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40, 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20, 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10, and 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. All right, so now that we have proven that our constant of proportionality is 0.08, we now have to figure out what the new values are. So if we were to say my y is 12, and we wanted to say 12 equals 0.08x. So we could say 12 divided by 0.08. So we would gonna go in there, we have to hop it twice, hop it twice. 8 can go into 12 once. 8 can go into 45 times. And 8 cannot go into 0. So we have 150. Okay, and then lastly, we would say 15 equals 0.08x. So 15 divided by 0.08. So we're going to hop it twice. Hop it twice. So it's going to go in there 1 time. It's going to go in there 8 times. I'm running out of space here. It's going to go in there 7 times. We get 56. And we subtract, we get 4. Add a 0. It's going to be 187.5. All right, so my equation is y equals 0.08x. All right, let's do one last one. All right, so remember, we find k by doing y divided by x. So we have 2.4 divided by 3. It goes in there 8 times. So my k is 0.8. The equation is y equals 0.8x. All right, if we do 4 divided by 5, cannot go into 4, but it can go into 40 8 times. So it's 0.8. 5.6 divided by 7, it can go in there 8 times. 7.2 divided by 9 can go in there 8 times. All right, so now if my x is 11, I say 0.8 times 11. Well, 88 times 11 is 88, but then you put in the decimal, you get 8.8. Then I'm going to do 0.8 times 13. So if I did 13 times 8, 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. I have 0D plus 1D is 1D. I get 10.4. All right, so k is y divided by x.